All right, so we're going to be doing the edge up with enhancements.
Now loading. Complete.
All right, so I'm going to show y'all how I do my edge ups. First, I'm going to come down. Comb just a little bit of his baby's hairs down. Also checking to see where his natural edge up is. That travels all the way to this area right here. So I want to make that as dark as possible, so I'm going to comb just a little bit of it down. Not much. Just a little bit of it. Already creating a defined line. I'm going to come back with my clippers and I'm going to knock it down. Give him a defined line since he does have an afro and he is beginning his lock journey soon. So with the one guard, come through, just knock it down. Then with 70% alcohol, go ahead and clean up that area. Getting rid of any debris, sweat, any natural oils coming from the sebaceous glands. We're gonna clean that up. And since that dries pretty fast, now I'm gonna come back with my holding spray. Alright, so for my newfound guide or help, for some people that can't imagine their visionary line or just have a problem making a straight line, this is my new trick. I get my pencil, I go ahead and just color on my glove. Now you're probably asking, what's the point of doing that? You wasting a pencil, this and that. Hey man, you gotta figure out what works for you. As I stated previously, I had trouble with edge ups and this is what works for me. So now that I got the pencil on there, I'm gonna start from the middle. And I'm going to put my first line. As you can see, it already started creating that ash line for me, showing me where the hair is actually falling over the line and also showing me how I can keep my line straight. And I'll continue the process. I'm gonna do it one more time. Also to remind you, comb the hair down. Any other hair that may fall over, comb it down, hit it one more time. If you have to stable yourself by holding the client's hair, hold the client's head. If your client doesn't like their hair to be touched or be held, y'all can have a conversation about that or just find a workaround. So, as I keep going, I keep adding a little bit more of the pencil to the trimmer. And I just still a gentle touch. If your trimmer's a zero gap, especially if you're a new barber, try to be as gentle as possible. As gentle as possible. So as you can see how the ash line is there. And in this corner, you can see it's kind of drooping just a little bit because of this hair right here. If the hair looks too high, like when you cut it down and you dent it, when you cut it down and that one guard didn't do much, you can get your comb down and come up with your trimmers on top of the comb. Clipper over comb, trimmer over comb. Then we're going to hit that line again, making sure we get them the straightest line possible. Every time you stop, you want to check your mirror or check your camera, whatever you're using. Just find another reference point to make sure that line is becoming straight. Now clench your jaw, so your jaw muscles flex. So, and some of your mature clients, you will see the temporal muscle. About 80% of the time, the temporal muscle will have hair. Where that temporal muscle ends, that's where that vertical bar will end. So there will be hair exactly where that temporal muscle is at. So, one, I go back, add some more. Make sure I'm getting it pretty saturated. Make sure I'm getting it pretty saturated. Then I'm asking him, go ahead and clench your teeth for me. Then I'll touch some of the lightest parts of his head. I'm not trying to make the line dark. I'm just touching the lightest parts of his head. Alright, vertical bar looks straight. Another way to check your vertical bar being straight is it should line up perfectly to the middle of the forehead. If you split the head in the middle, that line should be actually parallel to the split in the middle. Now for the C-cup action, I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. Same thing, get some pencil, so I can see where I'm at. Start from the bottom, where I see the most or the least hair. Make that line, then comb it down, see where I can see there's a visible line right here. If you can't see it, then you can create one using that pencil. And that's a little tap touch. Straight. And then I'm going to use the corner. I'm going to use the corner of the blade to connect those two lines. Remember, you can turn your weaknesses into strengths. All you gotta do is put the time in. Same thing, just going over it again. Use the corner of the blade. Connect up two lines, then you can come back and smooth everything else out. Alright, now this is where I struggled at. Keeping that line straight, moving to the other side of the head. So still, same thing. Same thing. Just some of that pencil. And I'm just gonna slowly, I'm gonna move inch by inch. Because I want to make sure I'm getting this line straight as I progress into his edge up. Coming back, I'm checking my camera and I'm also checking the mirror to make sure this line is straight. Easy way is to also keep your client, if you're using your camera, keep your client in the center of the camera and keep him flush. Because something about a mirror and the camera that will show you your imperfections. So if we zoom in, you can see in this area, it's a little bit lighter. So Instead of taking and going all the way across that area, I'm just going ahead and start with this vertical bar. Again, repeating him, asking him to clench his teeth. Clench your teeth for me. Now again, checking my reference point. If I split the head down the middle, it should be parallel. This should be parallel. So I like to come behind my client, make sure they're straight, make sure they're looking straight. I will drop their head, and you can see where I need to end up. That peak needs to be finished at, and slowly bring them back up to the position where I need them at for me to finish this. A little bit more pencil. All I'm doing is meeting that vertical bar where I left off. Now, imagine when you start the C-cups and the points, you want to make sure they are lined up perfectly. The easy way for me to do it, sometimes I just measure the distance with my comb. Measure the distance with my comb, I know exactly where to start. Now, there's no such thing as a perfect cut. Any barber will tell you there's no such thing as a perfect cut. But what you always need to do as a barber is do as best as you possibly can. Try to minimize the shortcuts that you take until you get comfortable and see steps that you can skip to make your time faster, but also to keep your client happy and your services high. Again, for the C-cup area, vertical bar, we're just gonna repeat the same steps that we was doing before. I'm using my corners to match this spot with this, or to connect it. Alright, going with the neckline. Repeating the same steps with the pencil. Get some of that goodness on there. But then I want to tilt his head so I can get the best lighting, and also makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing, and also easier for me to fit the clippers back here. Now he has an afro, so I want to comb this hair down just a little bit. The first thing I do is I just go ahead and do a light trim. Just trying to give it some shape. And then doing that, I can see more of where I need to go. Then, just come in, touch, touch, touch. And just touch and go. Sometimes I push it, sometimes I slide. It just depends on how you want to do it. When you get behind the ear, hold it down on the top of the ear. You want to hold it down, and just like your C cups, your Chicago C's, whatever people want to call them, you want to use the corner of your blade. Come back and clean the hair that's underneath it. And that's the neckline. This is your finished product. This is what we get. Now, if we want to add enhancements, I'm going to show you my tricks to adding enhancements. The trick to adding enhancements is not to actually directly put it on the hair. You want to go ahead and comb the hair or brush the hair back, whatever is your choice. Because we want the enhancements to sit on the scalp, not the hair, on the scalp. This is my son. We don't actually do a lot of enhancements with him. So I'm going to use the semi-permanent enhancements. Just to show you. So I comb the hair back. I line everything up. About 8 inches away from the head when you spray. About 8 inches. And you lightly mist. Check it. Lightly mist. What's up? Check it.
I'm sorry, I'm waiting.
Okay, I got you, bro.
My bad.
Lightly mist. Check it. Lightly mist. Check it. Vertical bars, same thing. And you always want to spray into the hair. You don't want to spray down, you want to spray into the hair. To hear from me? C cups. Lightly mist. Another C cup. Lightly mist. Vertical bar. Lightly mist. Check it. Look into the camera. There we go. Now when you do the razor, you always want to pull the skin tight. Pull the skin as tight as possible and glide. That's going to pick up any hairs that you missed, any small hairs, and also any product of the pencil or that enhancement, and push it to the final line. And for my client, it's good because he has a really great edge-up line, and then he also has a lot of hair on his forehead. So removing that extra hair on his forehead is also going to define his line even more. In the front, I'm coming down instead of going up. Just for the simple fact that I want to smear this pencil out just a little bit more to cause more of a dramatic effect. Some people say it looks like a pushback, but most of the time, it's just the pencil. And then we're done. All right.
Lax the Barber on all social media platforms.